Writhing in pain and unable to open the door, she lost a lethal amount of blood and died right here. She wasn't kidnapped and killed. We can deduce the victim's condition within this room by putting these facts together. Veronica was crawling on the floor. It's likely that this is because of the mysterious disease she was suffering from. It sapped her strength to the point that she was unable to even stand. She had an attack of her disease inside this room. Can you do something for me, little guy? I need this bone analyzed in detail.
Oh, sure. What do you mean by in detail, though?
I just need to know if this fracture occurred before or after death.
This must have happened while she was still alive. Take a look at this area here. You can see where it started healing.
Great. I thought as much. All right, thank you. There's no knowing yet if this has anything to do with this case, but I do know now that this fracture occurred while she was still alive. Yes, these seem to be related. According to the charts, the victim's symptoms were migraines, hallucinations, mood swings, vomiting blood, hemoptysis, and perhaps most importantly, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. Yes, sudden aggressive behavior. That is, she was acting out violently. Her conditions must have worsened severely a month before her death. That is, her violent tendencies would have increased in frequency and severity. In addition to that is the fracture in Veronica's finger. This is the only injury she had while alive. That's a common injury when people hit things with their fists. On the other hand, the parents' injuries seemed like signs of abuse. If I were to consider all these points, those wounds were, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. The hospital records of both the victim and her parents, they show that Veronica had been physically abusing her parents. The dead shall speak. Let's put together the truth of what happened here. A woman's skeleton was found 50 kilometers downriver of the city. The victim's name is Veronica Cage. She was 23 years old. She was suffering from some sort of illness. It caused her severe pain along with mental instability. When she couldn't go on, she snapped and turned violent. This card shows the truth of that emotional state. The patient had frequently physically assaulted her parents. This same disease finally caused her own death as well. This card shows evidence of that final attack. I can't mess around anymore. It's time to get serious. Yes, there were traces of blood at her room's entrance. During the attack, she writhed in agony about the room. The shattered mirror is evidence of that violent behavior. Eventually, her strength gave out and she collapsed. She used the last of her strength to try to leave the room. However, her one final wish was left unanswered. This card speaks to that sad truth. In her fading consciousness, she tore at the door. But she died there, and the culprits carried her body out. The proof of this is on this card. Exactly. The earring caught on something while she was being carried. She was already dead when the earring was torn from her ear. Most likely, her death surprised the ones responsible. They then cleaned the room to hide any signs she was there. But whoever cleaned the room had poor eyesight, and thus did not see the earring among the mirror shards. The body had to be hidden as well. Their plan was to throw the body off a bridge 8 kilometers away. But they were scared off by a pair of oncoming headlights. This culprit, with a bad back, gave up and fled the scene. Those headlights belonged to the blue truck. The driver could not avoid the body and ran over her. The driver believed he had killed her and dumped the body. Ironically, what he did only completed the culprit's plan. This card has proof that she was already dead when run over. Hiding a corpse is a crime, but the driver wasn't the murderer. The ones responsible are those who locked her away to die. She sought help, not knowing that none would ever come. Her last words are the proof of that desperation.
It hurts! Mom! Dad! Help me!
This is the whole truth in how her life was cut short. I don't know what the dead want, but the truth must come out. I'm going to see the ones who cut your life's thread short.
The medical examiner. What brings you here?
Your daughter died in suffering. She struggled, she shouted, and she clawed at her door. She tried to escape so terribly that her own nails tore off. Why didn't you open the door?
There was no choice. We wanted her to be happy. We wanted her to be normal. We never thought this would
Her death may have been inescapable. But you defiled her death in order to protect yourselves. That can never be forgiven. When death came to you, did you suffer? Soon I will know for myself.
Miss Kimishima, your test results have come back.
I see. Let me ask you up front. How long do I have until my flame goes out?
A year at best. Maybe 6 months.
I understand. Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Kimishima, the helicopter's here to take you to the lab.
All right. Thank you. Rosalia. What is this? Someone's name?
Dr. Kimishima, are you all right up there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'll be right down.
Yay! Hello, Mr. Butterfly. I'm Alyssa. I live in the house over there. Where do you live, Mr. Butterfly?
Great. She's at it again. Hey, kitty girl, what are you doing? No trespassing.
Oh, Miss! Chloe's better.
Chloe? Who are you talking about?
Chloe's the kitty you helped. Now she comes over to play.
Glad to hear it. In any case, you're not allowed here.
Hey, Miss. What's your name?
Me? Oh, I'm Naomi. Naomi Kimishima.
Okay. Hi, Naomi. I'm Alyssa. I live just on the other side of the garden here.
I see. That makes us neighbors.
Yep, so I can come see you anytime I want.
Now, Alyssa, this is a place where most people can't go. That's why I need you to...
Oh, and who's this little princess? Am I intruding?
Chief.
Hello, mister. I'm Alyssa.
Hello, Alyssa. I'm David. Excuse me, but can I borrow Naomi for just a moment?
Okay, Naomi's got work to do, right? I'll be going then. Bye-bye, Naomi. See you later.
It seems you've made a cute little friend.
You know she doesn't have any security clearance, right?
Now, you think I'm that uptight? It's not like we're using diamonds to decorate the garden.
Anyway, you're here to talk about work, correct? I'm listening.
Yes, a few hours ago, a body was found in Oxford. The FBI is requesting that we send you to investigate it.
Me? Is there some crime involved?
It's our job to determine that. What do you say?
This is my duty, isn't it? I'm on it. The victim lived in a cottage in Oxford with her husband. The husband called the police, saying he had killed her. When they arrived, she was on the floor with a chest wound. I accept. The FBI thinks the husband may not be telling the truth. All right. Let's discover how this tragedy played out. Tell me the facts we have, little guy.
Yes, ma'am. The victim is 75-year-old Alma Parker. Her husband Joseph called the police late last night. On arrival, they found her body, stabbed in the chest. The husband was in a wheelchair, holding a bloody knife. Joseph's account is that they had a fight that escalated.
A man in a wheelchair stabbed someone who could walk?
That's what he says happened.
Find out what you can about the murder. I'll check the body.
Right, please get started.
The dead tell no tales. And if they do, nobody listens. Only the dead who haven't died yet can discover the truth. Let's begin. Show me how your light was put out. Bloodstains on the left sleeve. Was there a wound on the corpse's arm? It could be the murderer's blood. This needs to be investigated further. What's this? Is it hair? That's bizarre, because... Indeed, the victim and the suspect reportedly both have white hair. I need to send this in for analysis and identification. This must be the fatal stab wound. It has an odd shape. The weapon's cross-section must be... Right. The weapon must be shaped like a cross. That weapon most likely penetrated the heart and killed the victim. What kind of weapon has a shape like that? The victim has a wound on her head. It's star-shaped? What can wounds tell us? Yes. We can figure out the shape of the weapon that inflicted them. Still, a star-shaped bruise. What kind of weapon would leave that? This stab wound is small, but it's rather deep. There's a wound with a similar shape, but it's a different size. What could this be? I've never seen a bruise like this. Is it something congenital? is internal bleeding. It might have been caused by something pressing against the palm. It would require a great deal of force to leave this mark on the victim. Was she struggling against the murderer? Or is there a different reason behind it?
Dr. Kimishima, do you need an analysis?
Well, I'm not here to ask you out on a date. Just look at these.
Okay. Are these bloodstains?
Yes, they were on the victim's left sleeve.
That's odd. This blood isn't the victim's.
What do you mean?
Well, the results say that only the H-type antigen was detected in this blood. That makes this blood type O.
The victim has type A blood. What about her husband? He's a suspect.
He has type O. Does this mark him as the culprit after all?
Let's not start jumping to conclusions. First, let's check to see if the husband is injured. If this blood came from him, he must be wounded. Hey, little guy, could you analyze this hair?
Yes, of course. Dr. Kimishima, this isn't human hair. It seems to be from some sort of animal. Did the victims have any tame household creatures?
You know, they're called pets. And no, there weren't any signs that they had any.
Strange. Still, this is obviously not human hair. I can see cuticles, so this isn't synthetic hair or a fiber.
All right. Can you identify what animal it's from?
No, that's beyond my expertise. Oh, but I do see something odd about it.
Go on.
Well, the hair has a tip, but the other end doesn't have a root.
No root. That means... So the hair had been cut.
Right. This means that the hair didn't fall off the animal naturally.
Why would something like this be on the corpse? These stab wounds are different sizes, but they have the same shape. We can deduce that these wounds are connected by... Yes, these two wounds were caused by the same strike, piercing all the way through her body. If that's the case, the entry wound was... That was careless. The entry wound must be at least as large as the exit wound. If these wounds were caused by the same strike, it would have to be 20 centimeters or longer. This isn't enough to identify a weapon, but it does get us one step closer. Little guy, can we determine the shape of this weapon?
I think so, yes. I'll need some information, though. What can you tell me? How big is it?
Well, it's at least 20 centimeters. It's shaped like a cross shape. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. We'll have the results in a moment. I see. This isn't a cutting tool, like a knife. It's like a spike or a spear. Something meant for piercing.
So, a stabbing weapon. I don't like the looks of this.
Right. This isn't your usual murder weapon.
Something's not right. What do you think, little guy?
You mean the weapon in the shape of the wound, right?
That knife isn't long enough to have done that. and it's nowhere close to the right shape. No, something else has to be the real murder weapon. The second thing this tells us is that was careless.
I agree. The husband's definitely lying to us about something. In any case, we know for sure that the knife isn't the murder weapon. However, we still don't have a clue what the real weapon was, or who the killer is.
Take it easy. We just have to think about all of this. A sharp weapon, like a spear that can go through a human body. We'll have to find out what it was.